Toni Morrison's extensive knowledge and inclusion of Black culture is another of the many reasons why she is an important and inspiring author. Toni Morrison uses the Black culture in her novels to address the violent injustices committed against African Americans. In her novel, Beloved, Black culture in the 1860s is represented through the horrifying and painful past of the escaped slave Setha. During the 1860s, Black culture was formed around slavery. Therefore, it was common for families to be separated due to slave owners selling individuals to other white owners. Morrison included this aspect of Black culture when she separates Setha from her husband Hallie. This separation between husband and wife, or a father and his children, is significant in Black culture because it was common in the 1800s due to slavery. Morrison also includes the importance of songs in Black culture during this time period through her character Paul D. Paul D recalls his time enslaved and states that singing kept himself and the other slaves alive. Another aspect of Black culture highlighted in Morrison's novels is women and their crucial roles in Black communities. In her novel Sula, Eva takes on a motherly role and watches over many children, although she does some questionable things. In A Mercy, Florence's mother, similar to Setha in Beloved, saves her daughter because she, herself, has not recovered from her past and does not want her daughter to go through the same endless nightmare. The women in these novels represent their role in Black culture as the healers and protectors. Lastly, Morrison's inclusion of Black stereotypes in her novels strengthens the formation of Black culture. It is crucial when discussing Black culture to include common stereotypes because a stereotype can shape the way one lives. For example, in The Bluest Eye, Morrison illuminates the traditional stereotypes for what is considered beautiful, which largely impacts the characters' lives. Morrison also includes pain and suffering in her novels to elaborate the Black culture within the story. African Americans have faced endless oppression, pain, and cruelty throughout history, and unfortunately these horrific events are responsible for specific aspects of Black culture. Characters in God Help the Child, Sula, A Mercy, The Bluest Eye, and Beloved face a significant amount of pain throughout the novel. Although the events in these novels make it more difficult to read, it is important that Morrison writes about it because it is a part of Black culture. Overall, the Black culture included in Morrison's novels helps readers comprehend the injustices during different time periods and how different events shaped Black culture.
As mentioned in her Nobel introduction, Toni Morrison brought upon the issue that she has become aware of in her life as a writer and a reader in this country. Through her essays, Playing in the Dark, Toni Morrison describes the insights gained as looking at a fishbowl and realizing that the fishbowl permits the smaller world to live separately but within a bigger world. This serves as a metaphor for what she believes Black people are seen as. The main representation of color often comes as the shadow of whiteness. Black people are vital and significant to this country, yet hardly represented to the extent that they could be. They are so constantly placed in what Morrison refers to as a peripheral existence. In Toni Morrison's work, Black women are the character, they are the lesson, and they are the story and the novel itself. Toni Morrison has an undeniable ability to not only bring dimension, but light to these women who are so often left so one-dimensional. Through her stories, she creates this representation. A Mercy, The Bluest Eye, God Help the Child, and Beloved all have female Black protagonists, and they fulfill different spectrums of what the Black woman is and can be. No two characters are shown the same way, despite common struggles and being the same race and gender. In The Bluest Eye, the character of Maureen, who is mixed and green-eyed, does not quite suffer the same struggle as the other girls. This demonstrating that there is a spectrum of struggle and it is based on more struggles than just being Black and a woman. It is their economic status, it is the striving for love and the love in their family that makes the central characters, Claudia and Piccola, so different despite having the same struggles with beauty, society, and being the same age, race, and gender. Sula and Setha are both slaves with very different stories and meanings to their story. Through this diversity and representation, Toni Morrison was able to make Black women the center of attention, every Black woman. The fact that Toni Morrison was able to represent so many women made her award and her work so much more meaningful. As one of her friends said, "The prize that is yours is also ours and could not have been in better hands." Representation is not the only factor in which Toni Morrison helped fulfill a cause, however. Her works have managed to branch an understanding between people who would not understand the struggle, people who have overlooked Black women previously. Toni Morrison said herself, "I believe that one of the principal ways in which we acquire, hold, and digest information is via narrative. In her introduction speech, it is mentioned how her novels invite the reader to partake at many levels and at varying degrees of complexity. So the most enduring impression they leave is of empathy, compassion with one's fellow human beings. The humanization and developed complexity in these women provides such benefit for understanding and communication. Through these novels, Toni Morrison brings Black women from their peripheral existence to common existence, and therefore also sheds light and opens up discussion regarding their struggles and problems with society today.
Toni Morrison continues to leave a mark in society today. She has continuously given back African Americans to their history. Not only does she use artistic language in her novels and base them in different decades, but she addresses conflicts arising due to cliches, celebrates African American culture, and makes Black women the center of attention.
None of these details are prevalent in the world of literature, which is what makes Morrison even more pertinent to the world today. She deserves to be the first African American woman to receive the Nobel Prize of Literature. And as Morrison stated, being a Black woman writer is not a shallow place, but a rich place to write from. It doesn't limit my imagination, it expands it. It's richer than being a white male writer because I know more and I've experienced more.
Thanks for watching!